Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we have a continuation of my last video. I have an interview with a guy named Ed J.C. Smith. He is an Amazon bestseller. He is a psychologist. He is a social media expert, and he's also a business growth expert. So it's a really interesting interview and video for you. So without further ado, make sure you are subscribed with those notifications turned on. Let's get into the video straight away. We are joined here with Ed J.C. Smith. I say we are joined here, we're in his office, which is pretty sick. We'll do some panning shots, we'll do some B-roll of the actual office, which is naughty. Would you be able to just do everyone a favour and just tell everyone who the hell you are and what
I'm still trying to discover that. Yeah, so an entrepreneur, an author, and a business growth specialist, helping people build and grow their business, really. Facebook marketing is something that we specialise. So I have an academy and a consultancy agency. So we do public events, we do online stuff to help you have more freedom, you know, all of that jazz.
So you can imagine why I'm here, and that's because obviously I want to grow my business, right? I want to take my life to the next level, all about that passive lifestyle. So what originally happened is, you guys might know Jordan. He's been on the channel a few times, and he rang me up, this is probably quite a few months ago now, and said, oh, do you want to go to this seminar in London for this guy, Ed? I'm like, who the hell's this bloke? And he's like, oh no, he's really sick, let's go down and go see it. So we came down to one of your events, which was like, you had like hundreds of people there, I don't know how many, it was a lot, right? And you had loads of people, like staff, all in like red t-shirts, was it? There's a red.
Yeah, there's a cold. That's
there's a big cold, yeah. And we were like, what the hell is going on? Anyway, you did all the stuff you normally do, which is kind of seminar. If you've ever been to like a seminar type thing, you'll know what they kind of, how they run.
Just breaking through people's limitations, that kind of stuff.
And I could see there's a lot of alignments between, like, I was like, okay, I want to get to know you. But obviously, how do you get to know someone unless you have leverage, right? So I reached out to you probably maybe a week or two after, just saying, oh, I've seen an opportunity where I can help you. There's something that I have which you may know or you may not know, but
that was very good, man.
Do you know what I mean? Just like find out if I can help you in any way possible, like any way possible.
The key being though, he reached out and offered a valued, piece of information, a valued gift, a valued proposition. That's the key. And a lot of people, because a lot of people think that they do that. Yeah. And I get pitched, like say we run an event where there's 700 to 1,500 people in the room, people will pitch you left, right and centre. However, they will pitch you with like, here's my business card, here's like, help me do this for me, and you're like, oh. And so it was a high value pitch, and it was a good hook. All of the things that you need to have an understanding around business, a good offer, a good hook. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm always open, standard. Yeah, there you go.
But at the beginning I was like, I don't even know what, like in terms of reciprocation, I was like, I don't know what, like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I know it's a good idea.
I did say, what do you want in return? Because I know how it goes.
And I couldn't really answer it.
No, you said I just want to build a relationship and see if it works, and if it works, let's talk more. So and I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, and I think that's the good for all of you guys watching, because I know you might want to be starting off in your entrepreneurship journey, or might be starting already and trying to network a bit more. Those are the sort of things you need to do, and you might not get it right every single time, and that's okay. But if you offer people value up front, asking nothing in return, that's going to always be the best way to get someone's attention. But when you say, I know people talk about value all the time. The importance is like, what is value to them? Yeah, it's not what I think is valuable. It's
but really
taking time. And I think that's the problem too, that a lot of people do know that as a concept, but they don't actually take time to think about really, truly, what would be, a solution to the problem that person is coming from, because we respect an authority in a field, and the reason that we respect an authority and how someone becomes an authority is by understanding what their client wants. If you can speak the problems of your client better than they can actually understand the problem, then your client is going like, shit me, they know this better than I do. And then that's when you start to become an authority, regardless of any book or program, is that you truly understand what your client's going through.
Should you plug the book? Well, no, so you kind of undersold yourself a bit recently by when you just introduced yourself. So can you give them just a bit of background about what kind of brought you to where you are now? And like just a brief
so I just like really quick. You know, I started in a very negative environment, and I didn't understand a lot, and I didn't like most people, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and it seemed like when I was going through school, everyone else knew what they wanted to do. That's how it seemed. Like, I think for young people today, they have the problem is their comparisons are social media. My comparisons were like my close core friends who were really clear on what they wanted to do. One of my friends wanted to be a footballer, one of my friends wanted to be an accountant, and they were like bang, really, and I never had that. And so therefore I always felt like I wasn't quite sure of what I wanted to do. And so therefore, you know, I had a couple of bad decisions when I was younger where I got very overwhelmed, and I wasn't happy at school, and I went to kill myself. And then from that, you know, I ended up like having therapy at a young age, and it was because of that I started, you know, having mentorship, and I started, you know, choosing someone else to show me a better path. A lot of people don't know what they want to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's because they haven't been shown the right path, the right direction, and or met someone that has had a great result. And it's really simple when it comes down to it. You need to find someone that has done something that you'd like to do and get as close to them as possible. So, you know, I started young. I started working as a coach, as a personal trainer when I was 16, and that is something I got into because I'd had a bad back. Met this physio, he taught me how to get a better back, and I thought, shit, I could do this too. And I started working for free in a gym, and I started that was it. And everything started to get better from that moment as I got better clients, and my clients started, you know, my life changed when I met this guy called David Ward, who was my first big client, who he was like, you've got to set your earnings, you've got to find out. And I was like, shit, I was just like day-to-day living. And he was like, you need to set it, you need to, and I was like, okay, cool. So he's like, how much do you want to earn? I was like, I had never considered it. I was 18, 19 years old or whatever, and he was like, you've got to set how much you want to earn every year, and you've got to beat it, otherwise there's, you know, like, you don't have a target. And I'm not saying everything's about money, but each step of the way you'll be able to move out of your house, you'll be able to buy stuff, and your life will increase. And so he was the first guy. So I said like 100,000, and when I said it, I was like, like I'm never going to be able to achieve that. And as soon as I said it, he said, the fact that you said that, as in you said 100, but then you said you're never going to achieve it, we need to work on that. And he was like, I earn 100, and I was like, what? And he was like, I earn 100. I was like, what, a year? I thought you'd do more than that. And he was like, no, I earn 100 a week. And I was like, whoa. So he was my first kind of like, that changed my life. Like to meet someone that was transparent and open to say this is what they do. And so he showed me his model, his system, and he had basically like license agreements with photocopiers at the time. And so I was like, this is crazy. So like, and again, like who you're spending time with, you become a byproduct of that thinking. So it was through that I just started, so what he told me, I pretty much went out and did. So I started up like a second business where I was going out buying data and reselling it before, when it was actually allowed to do it. The kind of third business, I was filling other people's personal training businesses up. I just started kind of building on top of that, making cash, trying to keep it, and enjoying myself at the same time. You know, and then as you progress, every time you hit a different level, you need someone else that's a little bit further ahead. And so therefore it's so standard in my thinking because I've been around it for so long. Sometimes I think you know, like, you can't do everything on your own. It's just, why would you? Like, you know, everyone in our field have read like Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hour, right? So you have to hit that 10,000 hours to smash it up, to be good. And so automatically you got to start thinking about, that's fine enough, but like, whose 10,000 hours can you borrow?
Okay, yeah.
Is the key. Like, and so I'm sitting here with you. You've done far more than I have on your niche, right? So therefore we can exchange our 10,000 hours and thus accelerate further ahead. And so I'm always looking at, like, how do I take my life to the next level? How do I take my business to the next level? And at each stage, you know, I remember I was like 27, I was pushing for like a really, 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 really big client, and I got this Russian client, and then spending 4 years with him changed my entire, again, it's just like, when you spend time with someone that's got £1 billion business versus, you know, like 20,000 a year, it's a completely different way of thinking. And I remember when, like, I got this client, I pushed hard for it, got some great contracts, I was building stuff on the side, and we went on this boat trip for 2 weeks, and then we were doing like these like weekly boat trips, and I wanted to give back, right, because he was paying all these costs, and I was like, yeah, I'll pay, you know, like, I'll pay for the fuel, right? And so I was like, how much can the fuel be for like 3 days? And I was like, look, I'll get it. And he was like, you probably don't want to. And I was like, no, it's all right. Because like, I'm working, we're getting to know each other, I'm building stuff on the side. I was like, my other business is doing good. You know, we're bringing in like 20 extra a month on this one, and I was like, I can do this, and I want to give back. And so he was like, here's the fuel bill, but promise you, like, I want to take this. And I was like, I got it. And he's like, no, I got it. And I'm like, I got it. So I open up this fuel bill for 3 days, right, on a boat. What do you reckon?
I have no idea.
But like, it's rough.
I would think,
It's like one of the largest single.
Big old yacht.
It's a huge, like, yacht.
Did you go for?
No, not really. But you pay for a set amount of fuel.
Right. Okay. So it must have been
sales and stuff.
I don't know. I would say, so if you think, I would think about, you know, an exotic performance car would be like 100, 120, 150 quid. So that gives me a baseline of something that costs a lot. So it must be a few thousand.
Yeah.
Like under 10,000, I would say. No.
So I opened it, and look, because you got to remember, like, it is all about, you know, like, I was meeting great clients. I was, you know, my earnings went from 100,000 to $1 million in a year, and I was like, my parents were like, what are you doing? Like,
selling drugs?
Are you doing drugs? It was crazy, and that does change everything in your life. Yeah. And so I was not ready for it though. Right. I was not ready
for the bill.
What was it? The bill was a different level than I'd ever seen. I still have the bill because it's a different way of thinking.
Yeah.
When you know that you can, like, if you can do that, and it pushes you. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it then?
It's big.
It's big.
50,000.
Jesus. That's mad.
Well, for 3 days on a boat.
3 days.
3 days on a boat. Wow.
So to consider, really, if that was yours and you were doing that on a regular occasion, you know, you have to be seriously putting in a lot.
The standard of your life, like, what level are you really thinking at? Yeah. And I think
for him, that's just some fuel.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know,
just some fuel.
We were doing 16 million on a plane a year. That is big. Yeah. But I remember, like, so whatever it is that you want to do, you're going to have to push. Yeah. And you keep on pushing that, and when you can start to realise that money is just
it's a token, isn't it?
It's just a token.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so therefore, if you have to, like, you know, you have to find a business that can provide that or whatever. But it's when you do start really believing in what you're doing, you know, beyond what you're doing, I want to buy a house outside of the UK because that's what I want to do, and I'll run a training outside of the UK, not because I think about whether people will want to come. They will come, and it's great because
you want to do it.
Yeah, and so therefore, it's. I think today, like, people are held back by like just such small level thinking. Like there's a difference between being delusional and like knowing it's going to happen, and like some of the people, you know, that I've been around, because I had a t-shirt based business, for example, and you know, I met a lady recently who invested like £1 million into the first cutter machine in 1984,
right.
and £1 million in 1984, and she was like, there was no certainty whether they were going to get it back. However, you know, it saved them at that time. They were like driving around the world to get samples, and so it was like, you know, because everything is so easy today, like people become lazy, and you know what you guys can do in terms of sourcing, you know, like it's never been easier than that. You know, I remember talking to people that used to drive to like France to go and get bread because there was no gluten-free bread, and they would go there and stock it up for like, you know, just so they could. So
but now you can go on your phone, you can buy,
you can get
1,000 units of
bread wherever you want. So I think, you know, the world is crazy, like today, and that means that, you know, for the people that are watching, it's important to have someone to follow more so than anything, because the problem is there's so much information. So therefore, if you are subscribed to Jonny's channel, stay wired into what he's doing, continually watch just one person, maybe two maximum. Don't dilute your focus, and stay on a couple of core people and really go depth into it, because the big opportunity is you can make a lot of money, like in loads of different fields, and then the big problem is you don't know which one to take, and the overwhelm is just
information over.
It
just need something to go with, don't you?
100%.
Take action on it. Yeah. Would you say then one of the big things with getting past? So, for example, I've hired Will over there, like full time, just to help me out. Yes, Will. Get on the vlog. Everyone said I used to work with Will at Apple when I used to work there.
This is where it's at, 100%.
And the reason I've had to do that because I've realised that I'm limiting myself in terms of what I could potentially make, because I'm trying to do it myself. I'm trying to take ownership of everything. Would you say the big thing, maybe to stepping up into like the big leagues, whatever, is about your mentality around money? Like you're saying earlier, mentality around money, around progression, around, rather than actually physically doing it, it's your perception of what's possible.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
Is that a question?
there's like maybe two in there. So like definitely outsource like it's discovering like what is your key focus.
Yeah.
Like what's your one thing that you do?
Yeah.
Like you need to spend time, like myself, just doing more content. You get more people to do the back end element, and so Dave downstairs, my business partner, runs the entire like academy for me, which with is all the like, you know, like we had a 2-hour meeting before you came, and it was super specific, and it's like, you know, like, you know, he's just running. You have to, and even if you're not at that stage yet, you can't do everything.
Yeah.
It's what you offered me was a strategy that again, like I look through it and see if I can test it, see if it will work for me, and then either get someone else to run it, or, you know, again, understanding like what is your primary focus and where your income comes from, where is the most amount of.
Is it like where's the best place to spend your time? So no matter what stage you're at, it's that 80-20 rule. What's it called?
Pareto.
That's the one. Yeah, I knew that. So even for people that are starting out, which is the majority of people watching probably are just starting out, is trying to focus on the thing that's actually going to make the biggest difference, right? And I think I have this problem myself as well.
So let's do our strategy. We started out with think big, right?
Yeah,
go big. Go big or go home,
But I think, for at any stage, you always got to focus on what is the most important thing you need to be doing.
And I think that is, and the question comes up after that is like, what is that? How do we find that?
Yeah, what is that? Yeah. And that's hard sometimes.
Again, no, it's actually just deciding what you want, why you want it, and then you know I take people through like a solid triangle of decide. All right, decide why you want it. Right, why you want it. What is it that you want? What happens if you do it? What happens if you don't do it? So you have a solid understanding, and then do you believe in it? Mm-hmm. Because if you believe that you can get it, then all it is know-how. Mm-hmm. So if you believe like, okay, so how much would you like to make next year? And if you say like 100 million from 1 million,
right, it's
gonna be like, I don't know about that. Yeah. Like 1 million to like 3 is more, mm-hmm. If you've got 1 million that's already working, there could be some things, but it's a big jump. Right, so 20,000 to 40,000, more realistic, mm-hmm. right? So therefore, I'm not a big fan of realism anyway. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying that there needs to be some sort of structure into that, and then commitments on what it is, mm-hmm. commitments on what you need to do to follow through that. If you don't believe it, then it's again.
Is the belief the first thing?
Belief is super. So first of all, this is your conscious. All right, this is the goal getter. Yeah, if your mind is split up into, evidence says this 5%, okay, of your conscious mind says, here's what we decide that we want, mm-hmm. but 95% is your unconscious. If you don't believe it, then you've got all of this on the other side saying, nah. So therefore, we need to overwhelm that with, like, people's results, showing people. If I take 10 people and show you that this is, if you're a personal trainer or whatever it is, and you say, like, I want to get 10 clients a week, mm-hmm. I don't know if I can. Here's 10 people that have done 10 clients a week. How did you do it? Here's what I did. So it's then like the formula, the system to get more clients. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that. That's wicked. Hopefully people are finding this super valuable. What we could do as well, if you're liking this, guys, I want you to let us know down below, because there's always potential we can do.
Let us know down below, yeah?
Yeah, let us know down below. There's always potential that we can do more sort of videos as well that go super in depth as well. But also, I think this would be a good time to just let people know how they can see more of your stuff. Because we could be talking for hours. We could literally be talking. We're going here. We're going for Instagram.
No, so it's on all of them. All of them. YouTube. They're all the same.
And JC Smith. I'll put the links up. We'll do a cool little thing where it like, pops up on the screen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Somewhere here.
Yeah. Somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that'd be really cool. So what we're going to do today? Well, we're going to leave the knowledge drop in. For now, for these guys, because I need to take it all for myself. It's good. I'm not going to give it all away. But this is one of the big reasons I'm here with Ed.
We're working on your webinar.
We're working on webinar.
Hey, webinar!
Yeah, that's it. We're doing some crazy things, and you guys are going to see this. But the big thing that we're working out is really how we're going to approach it. What's the best way to do all these different things? So I'm going to take you through everything I'm doing. You're going to tear it apart and tell me where it's crap. Basically, right?
Never. Just build on top of it.
Build on top of the greatness.
But also like spot the flaw. The key is to spot the flaws.
Spot the flaws. Because at the end of the day, I could know a lot more. I could have a lot more experience. So you've had the experience. You've done it. You've been there.
The difference is like if you do like when you are putting an offer together or something like that, like one thing sets the whole thing.
Exactly, yeah. That's the one, and we want to work on that one thing. And it doesn't matter what business you're doing, you have to have that hook and that reason why your product or service is different to other people's. Not an improvement necessarily, like it's like this but nicer. It's how is it different to other people. So that's what we really want to work on. But you guys can't see that, unfortunately, because I would give it away. So what I want you to do is leave any questions for Ed, and what we can do, maybe you hang around in the comments for a day.
Hang around in those comments.
5 minutes, answer any questions. But yeah, go follow him on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook as well. Big on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also have, I'll put a link to the book as well, Amazon bestseller. We do like a bit of Amazon as well. I started reading this in the sun, which is quite nice. Which I was sitting there like, oh yeah, lovely. But this is really about kind of the mindset side of it, isn't it? Yeah. And
how you can daily, be more mindful and productive and efficient to get the things that you want.
Exactly. Are you still doing your free?
Yeah. So it's a free copy. If you www.moneymindfulnessdaily.com, and there's just pay for postage and packaging.
It is definitely him. That's a sick book. So yeah, pick that up as well. Support the cause. What we'll do is I'll probably sign this off when we leave, and I'll give you an update about how it went. But yeah, we'll see you guys very soon. Okay, cool. So when I left Ed's, I did record something. However, the audio really didn't come through. So this is actually the next day when I'm just kind of editing the video together. So it was incredible to actually meet him. We kind of spent probably 2 hours or so going through some topics that I wanted to go over. It got to the point where we were both feeling maybe a little bit mentally drained, so we called it a day. I kind of wrote all my notes down, came to them this morning, and yeah, there's some really kind of massive takeaways that I got from it. If you want to know a little bit more about what we spoke about, let me know down in the comments, and I may or may not do a video about it. Make sure you do go and follow all his socials. Definitely go and check out all his stuff. Make sure you get his book, which is free, just plus shipping, because why not, right? Why the hell not? Anyway, thank you ever so much, guys, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.